Jonak. Oh man, right up in the face.
Hammer down!
Overwatch fans, did you miss us? Well, we missed you. We are back live from Los Angeles to kick off Stage 3 of the 2019 Overwatch League season. Stage 2 champions are in the building tonight. The San Francisco Shock didn't lose a map during Stage 2 and handed Vancouver its first loss of the Overwatch League in our Stage 2 final. San Francisco will take on an Atlanta Reign squad that earned 2 wins over the mighty New York Excelsior near the end of Stage 2. Can Atlanta stay hot today and take down another giant? We find out in 30 minutes. Hello everybody and welcome into the Blizzard Arena. This is the Watchpoint pre-show presented by State Farm. I'm your host Chris Puckett and I brought the smartest people I know and Bren. We've got Sully, we've got Sideshow, and of course Brendan Hook, our super Widowmaker on the desk. Are you guys ready for another stage?
I'm pumped, man.
It's been 3 weeks. What have you been doing,
relaxed. I've been chilling, relaxing, maxing out cool, shooting some b-ball out.
We all
Not gonna go there. Continue.
No. I'm just going to let that simmer for a minute. Guys, we got a great show for you to kick off Stage 3. The San Francisco Shock superstar damage dealer Sinatraa explains how his arms literally went numb when they beat the Vancouver Titans in the Stage 2 final. Plus, Sinatra's teammate Super, along with Dogman and DM, are just a few of the huge stars that will take part and take the stage here in Los Angeles to kick off our second half. And we'll reveal some hilarious and little-known magazine covers about your favorite Overwatch League players and teams. When the mice get clicking on the stage, though, you're going to see the Shock take on Atlanta. Plus, an evolving Florida Mayhem squad faces the Seoul Dynasty. Guangzhou battles Chengdu, and the hometown LA Valiant will close out their night against the Shanghai Dragons. The 8 teams playing today range from as high as 3rd place and as low as 20th. We've got 5 teams, though, bunched up in the middle of the pack at 7-7, including the Atlanta Reign. So they're going to have their hands full against the Shock tonight, guys, right? Probably. Expecting that one. Well, the San Francisco Shock, they won a perfect 20 of 28 maps in Stage 2. They'll try to keep their regular season map streak going against the Reign. Atlanta, they missed the Stage 2 playoffs, but handed 2nd place New York its first 2 losses of the regular season last month. So, Zoe, are the Reign becoming a giant slayer?
I mean, I guess we're going to find out very soon. It is quite a feat to defeat the New York Excelsior twice in a row, back to back. And frankly, there was a lot of time in between those 2 matches, so New York had ample time to actually prepare against their opponents, and yet they did lose. Now, Atlanta Reign, they seem to do pretty well if they face off against more the slower teams. However, as soon as they're facing off against more fast-paced teams, they seem to kind of lose control. Now, Shock is that. They're aggressive, they're fast, and they do not underestimate their opponents.
Now, Bren, you got to beat the best to be the best, and the San Francisco Shock did that when they took out the Titans a few weeks back during that Stage 2 final. So the question is right now, are the Shock the best team in Overwatch?
I think that you are probably going to have to be platinum right now to disagree that Shock are not the best team in the league. They've just come off the back of the Stage 2. They've won it against the Titans. They're currently still in the regular season undefeated in terms of their maps. They're looking to continue that today as well. These guys, they just play to such a high level. They've almost mastered the triple tank, triple support at this point, and are adding their own flexibility onto it as well.
All right. Don't get carried away. Don't get carried away. I heard your little jab at me earlier.
Yeah?
The Vancouver Titans are undefeated so far in the regular season. They've only lost 1 match to the San Francisco Shock, and after 1 loss, you're ready to crown them. You're ready to throw them off the throne.
Does that just mean he's in plat?
Yeah, what's your SR?
Just checking.
Tell everyone what's your SR?
Higher than yours all the time. Anyway,
I believe it's around 2,900.
That's not important. What's important is you're a moron for not respecting the legacy of these teams. The NYXL were a fantastic team last season. Yes, they choked in the playoffs. They were still the best of 2018. The Vancouver Titans are undefeated at the moment. We'll have to wait until they lose a regular season match before you call them.
I'm with
not
Josh
best.
on this one. The Shock and the Reign will be running familiar lineups tonight in their matchup, but several other teams made major roster changes between stages 2 and 3. Shanghai released Fearless, while the Defiant added 2 free agents. The Valiant also traded Fate to the Florida Mayhem for McGravy and 2 Academy players, and Florida leads the way with 6 total transactions in the past few weeks, and they should have a few more signings on the way as far as the total overall they announced during Stage 2. The Mayhem are 1-13 in last place this season, and tonight they'll face the Seoul Dynasty team that narrowly missed their second straight stage playoffs in Stage 2. For Florida, adding Fate now gives adding Fate from the Valiant now gives them an experienced main tank, a shot caller for this team. Josh, do you expect this to be an instant fit for the Mayhem?
I don't know about instant fix, but I do think it is going to be a pretty good fit for the Mayhem. I think you hit the nail on the head there. He's very experienced, and he's a shot caller. He's a leadership figure. And that's exactly what the Florida Mayhem, I think, have been missing all season long. They need someone like Fate, who finished second in the overall season last year, who played for the Korean World Cup team, who has led teams before and worked under very experienced coaching staff. He is a very good player, hasn't had a good season. And when he's on the Florida Mayhem, he's going to be able to utilize his brain, his shot-calling abilities, his leadership, his experience. If anyone can try and drag the Florida Mayhem out of the mud right now, I'd put a bit of faith in Fate.
Gets to control his new team. On the other side, we got the Dynasty. They're one of 5 teams at that 7-7 mark right now. They've been 500, but are they in a position now to climb the leaderboard in Stage 3?
Well, they will certainly try. They had a pretty darn good Stage 1. If we're looking back at 2018, they were falling flat. It was a little bit disappointing for all the Seoul Dynasty fans out there, but they redeemed themselves coming into the second season, had a good Stage 1, ended up in the playoffs, and made it to the semifinals, so a pretty good run. Last stage, however, again, it was narrow in the end. Like, they could have almost made the stage playoffs, but they didn't. So I'm pretty sure that they are doing everything they can to change it around in Stage 3.
In addition to some new faces, we're also going to see a new map tonight, guys. Havana is in the mix. So, Bren, why should we be pumped for it?
It's an interesting map, the way it's designed, honestly, in terms of the way it's... firstly, it looks beautiful. I don't know, we saw it up on the big screen behind us earlier, but this is a map as well. The sort of opening of it is pretty standard in the way that a lot of these escort maps go, but when you get into the second point, and particularly the last point as well, you start to see a lot of changes. You can see the amount of high ground they got around here. It is all over the place, very defenders favored in a lot of these scenarios, as you can see, and as you go into the final checkpoint, when they start to move here into the final part of the map as well, it's very unique in the fact that it's very open in this section, but when you get to the final bit, when they have to finally push it into that little check mark there, again, defended favors. There's so much high ground that pushes into them. They have to go for this choke point. There's not really many ways in. It's a very unique map. We haven't really seen anything like this in terms of the escort maps that we have in the pool, so I have a feeling we're going to be seeing some interesting, unique compositions that are going to be applying to it as well. Maybe not some triple tank, triple
No
support,
Widowmakers?
but probably some triple tank, triple support. Probably the goats. I'm not going to lie. Yeah.
All right, new faces, a new map, probably some old goats, but we also will see one of our newest stars today. The champion of this year's Widow 1v1 tournament, DM and the Dragons are coming off their first stage playoffs appearance. Can they stay hot in Stage 3? We'll tell you next on Watchpoint.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
The Los Angeles Valiant surprised everyone by going winless in Stage 1. Their opponent today, the Shanghai Dragons, is no stranger to a winless stage dating back to our inaugural season, but Shanghai is coming off their first stage playoff appearance, while the Valiant are trying to rebuild this team mid-season, right, Zoe?
That is true, but it is a bit worrisome that it's happening now. It might be a little too late. However, a lot of changes are being made, so let's see how they're going to turn out for the Valiant. We have the biggest one with Fate leaving the Valiant, heading over to the Florida Mayhem, and in exchange they got McGravy. We have Shax and Fact Fiction, who are both coming in from the Mayhem Academy team, and they also had some not very recent, but still recent changes to their coaching staff, with Packing 10 as well as Promise, who both joined the roster somewhere, I believe, in April, so that was before the break. But that's definitely some necessary changes coming into that team, and I do expect a very different look this time around from the Valiant.
Retooling and rebuilding right now. On the other side, we have the Shanghai Dragons, who have won 7 matches so far this season, and that's good enough to put them in the 13th spot. But Josh, you think they deserve to be much higher?
Yeah, listen, if I was going to make a power ranking of all the teams at the end of Stage 2, I would have had the Shanghai Dragons in number 4. They're down in the 13th spot. I'm not crazy.
No, you're not crazy.
No, I know that you agree with me as well. You're just shouting random heckling at me. The Shanghai Dragons were the only team to be able to take a single map off the San Francisco Shock, apart from the Vancouver Titans. And they have the second easiest schedule in Stage 3. This should be a team now that just dominates. I'm not going to say that they're going to go undefeated. We had a lot of that talk in Stage 2. But I think with their use of Sombra Goats, they are going to have a great run against the Valiant and the Reign in particular, and probably the Charge.
Yeah, and it's that Sombra Goats that I want to focus on. That Sombra triple tank, triple support, not really triple tank at this point because you're using Sombra instead of the Diva. But I want to see a lot more teams sort of incorporating this, because it's been 2 stages now. The lower teams, the bad teams at the bottom of the pile right now, they cannot play triple tank, triple support to save their lives, it feels like. They're struggling in the neutral. They couldn't fight their way out of a plastic bag most of the time. It's time to switch it up. Trying to do something different. Incorporate the Sombra, this dishonest hero, into your lineup and start getting a couple of wins under the belts, because it really isn't working out for a lot of these teams, and you just need to start incorporating what other teams are doing well to try and get a couple of those wins and get moving up the leaderboards.
Sombra, she's just so dishonest, Brett. so dishonest. Our third match of the day pits 2 of our 4 Chinese teams against each other when the Guangzhou Charge take on the Chengdu Hunters. Chengdu was the first team out of the Stage 2 playoffs, while Guangzhou struggled to a 2-5 stage. So Zoe, can the Charge turn things around now here in Stage 3?
I mean, yes, they very well could. They have 2 new puzzle pieces to work with, 2 players who have been on the roster beforehand already. However, they weren't 18 yet, and those will be joining them. Nero is probably the most remarkable of them, as he will be stepping in as the DPS. But then there is, of course, also Rise, yeah, exactly, who I don't think will see as much playtime because Shu is still, Shu. I'm a big Shu fan, that's right. Looking at the Charge's schedule, also looking more on the light side. They had a tough schedule on Stage 1 and an even tougher one in Stage 2. So Stage 3 looks a lot more reasonable for the Charge.
And that's the perfect time to bring in a guy like Nero, who's just turned 18 and doesn't have the same Overwatch League experience. And he is one of the rising stars, DPS-wise, in the whole of North America. He's been on people's radars for 2 years, since he was 16 years old. He was lauded as an upcoming talent. It was actually Dogman, I think, that was one of the first to discover him as well, which is an interesting little tidbit for everybody out there. And with him added to the lineup, Charge have been anticipating this. They've been talking about how much they're going to enjoy playing with him and see him added. So I think he could be coming out here. I think we could see him make his debut at the beginning of Stage 3. They might want him to incubate a little longer, but I think he might be ready for the main stage.
Bring him out, Charge. I'm ready. And on the other side, we have the Hunters, who have a new face of their own, Bren. It's a main tank in Jachiran, a player that we've been waiting to be here. And the question is, will he get playtime over Among? Would you do it?
I mean, I can see it happening, honestly, but just not immediately. The guy has just swum his way across the Pacific Ocean right now to get here. I mean, this guy was supposed to be part of the Chengdu Hunters from the beginning, and unfortunately, because of a couple of visa issues, he wasn't able to make it here. But now he's finally in the lineup, and I don't know how much time he's had to practice, but if I was Chengdu, I would keep running Eamon. But honestly, I'd love to see them just keep running with Eamon. I think they've proven that they can run with this unorthodox composition and make it work against a lot of these weaker teams, picking up victories where other teams are failing. And I feel like if they default back to the triple tank triple support. Yes, the teamwork is there, but I don't know if they would still have the same success. And I mean, again, it's not exactly what the fans are looking for either, you know? If you're after that marketability, you're looking for those jersey sales, Chengdu. Keep running Eamon, you know? Just keep running the ball. That's all I know.
More ball. That's all we
More
want
ball.
here on the desk. I think we can all agree with that one. The first match between these two teams went to a map 5, so it should be exciting this time around. Almost as exciting as the Shock 6-map win over the Vancouver Titans in the Stage 2 final. Coming up, Sinatraa tells us how it felt to knock off the league's #1 team. This is Watchpoint.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
The Vancouver Titans won their first 19 matches in the Overwatch League, but they finally met their match when the San Francisco Shock took them out to claim the Stage 2 title. And as Sinatraa tells us, it was truly a sensational experience.
It's time for the Stage 2 finals, and this is a rematch from Stage 1.
Here we go again, boys.
We really wanted to win Stage 2. We wanted revenge on Vancouver badly.
If anybody out there can beat the Vancouver Titans, it's going to be the San Francisco Shock.
After we lost Stage 1, Stage 2 scrims were crazy. Like, we were taking it really serious.
What in the world was that?
These guys are trash. Let's go.
Quick, bro.
The Titans, will they lose for the first time ever in the Overwatch League?
During that last fight, like literally the last fight of the map on Stage 2, my arms went numb. Like, I don't know why, because I had a feeling we were gonna win.
And the Shock have done it! They are your Stage 2 champions!
After we won, I don't know. We were all just like so happy. Like, I literally started crying for like 5 minutes. I don't know why, but I was just really happy.
You can see Krusty, their coach's face, in tears.
This year, I think the pressure is a little different because everyone knows we're good now. I think the pressure is just living up to that expectation.
What a run for the Shock.
When the lights are the brightest, it's the superstars who are the ones to rise to the occasion. And as you can see, Sinatra's performance was significantly better in the Stage 2 final compared to the Shock's Stage 1 final loss to Vancouver. Sinatraa will continue to lead this young Shock squad tonight against Atlanta. It's likely that Sinatraa will be a star and a leader long into the future, and recently, Time Magazine celebrated another future leader from the Overwatch League, Shanghai's Gregory. Pretty amazing stuff here, Zoe.
It really is. It's truly remarkable to see how far such an individual, such a talented young individual has been coming, and all of that through gaming and the shared passion. It's lovely to see her paving this way for generations to come. Very,
Absolutely.
very nice.
She was named as one of the future leaders of the generation in Times Magazine last month with the headline, Meet the Female Gamer Taking the Male-Dominated World of Esports by Storm. But Gregory wasn't the only one to be in the magazines recently. We've got some lesser-known magazines to show the audience today. This one here, it's one of my favorites. It's Nuss Weekly with the latest on whether the inconsistent Spitfire will play up to their potential this week.
See, I would have grabbed that one in an instant just to see Krillin's new clutch.
Gotta get to page 39 for that one.
Oh, man.
I love how happy he looks. He's like skipping along the stage.
There's the rolling Joan, of course. Follow the NYXL star's spiritual journey to annihilate everything in his path.
I love the little subtitle of what Pine and Savior be due during matches. I have no idea. I don't know.
Next up is one of my favorites. It's the Feeder's Digest. You guys know this one.
Oh, my goodness.
Brilliant.
That's on Brent's coffee table at home, of
I
course.
read that every day. I'm a religious reader of the feature.
What do you guys think of GQO, the fusion stud, dishes on being confined to Brigitte prison and his amazing hair?
He does have remarkable hair. I'm
So
not gonna-
good,
I'd
so
love
good.
to see Poco bench pressing Carpe as well.
I
That
think he
sounds
could
amazing.
do it easily.
Speaking of
I was
bench
about to say,
pressing,
don't
we
watch.
stole this one out of Sideshow's gym locker. It's Brett's help. Everything you know how to become a barely healthy Overwatch
Wow,
analyst.
you must have caught me when I got out of the shower, huh? That's incredible.
Got you on a
Full,
bad
bro.
day. You normally look better than that.
About unflattering lighting, that was. Oh boy.
Well done, Bren. Well done. Shout out to all of our graphic artists here on the show. Coming up, guys, we've got some of the biggest stars in the Overwatch League taking the Blizzard Arena stage. And they might be wearing some interesting jerseys. All that in our predictions next on the Watchpoint pre-show presented by State Farm. Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League. Here's a look at the San Francisco Shock gearing up for their first match of Stage 3. They are running on that 28-map unbeaten streak. Will it continue today? We'll find out if the Reign can take down another giant. Here's a look at the Reign. Speaking of the boys from Georgia, they are getting ready to go up against the #1 team according to our standings at the end of Stage 2. Will they cause problems? We'll have to find out. Dogman feeling pretty confident. And as you saw right there, both teams in our first match are wearing alternate jerseys. In fact, 15 of our 20 teams in the league will be wearing alternates this weekend. And here's a look at the 4 alternates we expect to see today. Let's start here, guys, with the Shock. Here's a look at the alternates. What do we think about the camo?
Wait,
This looks slick.
Is there someone there in that photo?
Terrible joke. Get out, leave the desk.
I thought it was pretty funny, to be honest.
Not bad.
Yeah, 6 out of 10.
Urban camouflage.
6 out of 10, Zoe?
Brent,
For,
this is,
for the joke, not necessarily for the
this
jersey.
is Brent's favorite.
This is my favorite out of all the
Is it
jerseys.
really?
Yeah.
Do you like
Brent
camo?
loves
All
it.
right.
I
love
think it
the
looks
orange.
sick. I like that it's unique. They've gone for something different. It's not boring.
Here's a former Shock player in his Atlanta jersey, Baby Bay, rocking the peach. Zoe, what do you think of this?
I'm very intrigued by the framing here, first and foremost.
Interesting framing.
Yeah,
Great
peaches.
watch.
I love peaches and I love Atlanta. What's not to love about this?
Of course.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there was an actual peach on it as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Phenomenal. I mean, it's fitting Baby Bay's brand perfectly.
Yeah, peachy.
This one's pretty undeniable. It's
I love
my
that one.
personal favorite, the Mayhem's Miami Vice vibes. What do you guys think of this?
Oh, that's
That's
so,
an Insta buy.
That's
Yes.
So slick.
We've been waiting for that since the Mayhem was announced as an
True,
organization.
it's true.
Yeah.
Just the whole color scheme is amazing.
That looks
I love
phenomenal.
Palm tree on the back. Nice additions there. Well done, Florida. And of course, we're going to see the hometown LA Valiant tonight. Custa showing off his new gear. Sideshow, I already know you got a side small coming in, right?
it. Size small.
Medium?
Yeah, I've got
Extra
a
small.
tiny size small. I'm going to give it to Bren so that he looks even more ripped
Even
than
looks
usual.
swole.
Even more swole.
I like the color scheme, though.
Why,
It's very
why does
clean,
Custa's head look so small?
All
Can we
right,
go back to
guys,
it?
here is a look at our standings. We're starting fresh here with the second half of the season as we enter stage 3. And as we mentioned earlier, 5 teams are currently sitting at 7-7 through this point of the season. Which of the 7-7 teams have the best chance to jump into the top 10, though, Sideshow?
It's got to be the Shanghai Dragons. I mean, I was talking about this a little earlier in the show, but the Shanghai Dragons have got a pretty easy strength of schedule. It's the second easiest mathematically coming into the stage 3, and I think they're a really, really strong team at the moment. So if I had to pick one, it would definitely be buying stock in the Shanghai Dragons.
Over the Uprising. That one caught me off guard.
Yeah, I mean, you've also got the Seoul Dynasty in that list as well. You can make an argument for that team. I feel like Boston as well. They usually take a while to heat up. We saw them last year. It was around stage 3 where they went undefeated during that stage last year as well. So, I mean, who knows? There's a lot of potential for.
We'll
for a
see
lot of teams.
Boston later in the week. For now, let's take a look at our predictions here for the first day. It's going to be Atlanta. Nope, all shock across the board there. Florida, nope, all Seoul in our second spot. There we go. Chengdu and Guangzhou both chosen. And of course, we've got Shanghai going with this sweep. But Zoe, you've got, of course, Chengdu going up against Guangzhou. Face off right now against the Great Sideshow.
Oh, all right, listen, you had to destroy the aesthetic of that board by going for another team. So first of all, thanks for absolutely nothing. Secondly, just because they know what hunters might be running, that doesn't mean they can actually counter it. And so far, they've not been doing a great job, really, at being very creative when it comes to
They've been
that.
okay. With Nero in the lineup and with Eileen maybe able
Yeah, but
to
they have
flex
zero
up to
practice
Doomfist a
time
little
with
bit.
him.
All right, they've also had no practice time with Jichirin.
Yeah, that's why they're not going to field him.
Aren't they? I don't know. I could see them playing Jichirin, playing goats, and just underwhelming.
Brendan, you want to see some fresh faces today?
Yeah, I'd love to see him.
No,
to see some
you literally just said no.
I like it. Nero, take the stage in this first match. We'll find out. Guys, thanks for watching the pre-show presented by State Farm. Enjoy the games.